Meanwhile, Joe Biden falls down and breaks his foot playing with his dog, right? Not just walking around because he's an old doddering man who's losing his mind. No, that's not what happened. Here's Fredo reporting on a broken foot from Joe Biden, cut 14.
As someone covering the White House for a long time now, I took a lot of comfort in something pretty small, like the size of a pinky toe bone. When Biden hurt his foot, I appreciated it. Why? Because I'm a sadist? No, because we just got the straight truth about it. No lie, no deny, just he was out playing with his dog. He sprained his foot or broke some bone in his foot. He'll probably have to wear a walking boot for weeks. So why is that a big deal for me? Because there was no BS. There was no blocking us from the reason that Trump was rushed to a hospital. No fugazi doctors with these absurd lauding statements about Biden being superhuman, the strongest pinky toe in history. Just the truth.
Yeah, because Trump doesn't have Fredo, who's all of them. The whole New York Times is Fredo. You know, he doesn't have them to say the things that Trump says about himself. Trump is his own press. And that's a problem. It is a problem for him running for re-election when he's been, touting his own achievements and talking about himself when people were dying of the Chinese flu. That was a problem. But it was a problem that it was a tragic problem that he couldn't avoid it because he doesn't have the press to support him. Every conservative knows this. Every Republican knows that he is swimming against this tide of stupidity and credentialed globalist nonsense that thinks it's actually the truth. They actually think it's the truth. So now they're appointing these the cabinet, the president-elect's proposed cabinet. And of course, yesterday I played that montage of just how they're superheroes. Oh my gosh, it's as if the Xavier from the X-Men is bringing on the team of superheroes. It's an amazing coverage. Here is Janet Yellen, who is she's a swamp creature. She's not the worst of the swamp creatures, but she is what she is. And she's been appointed Treasury Secretary. It's cut 10.
Out of our collective pain as a nation, we will find collective purpose to control the pandemic and build our economy back better than before, to rebuild our infrastructure and create better jobs, to invest in our workforce, to advance racial equity and make sure the economic recovery includes everyone, to address the climate crisis with American ingenuity and American jobs.
That's what we need our Treasury Secretary to do, is address the weather. Because if you don't have the Treasury Secretary looking up at the sky and shaking her fist at the sun and telling it, stop being so hot, damn it, what is the Treasury Secretary doing? I'll tell you the good thing. You'll never hear me say this ever again, but I think that every time they form a new federal agency, an angel loses its wings and falls from heaven. I think they should never form new federal agencies. I think presidents should be judged on how many federal agencies they shut down. But before the invention of Homeland Security, something I totally opposed, a lot of the law enforcement agencies fell under Treasury. So if this clown was talking about the climate, was controlling the Customs Service and the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, that would be bad. But still, why is she talking about this? Small business, this is really interesting. This is from the Media Research Center. Small business confidence fell to an all-time low after Joe Biden was declared the winner. And they're just not covering this because they know that the high taxes are going to be bad for them, good for Jeff Bezos. They know that this policy that helps the poor doesn't help the poor, it only helps the rich. Basically, it's always about growing the government. And all they see is, oh, she's the first woman this and the first black this. This woman, what's her name? Neera Tanden is now going to be from the Office of Management and Budget. This is a stone leftist who had to delete thousands of her tweets because she called Mitch McConnell Moscow Mitch. But now we're going to have unity. And here's her speech. And her speech is really effective, okay? She talks about how she came up in the world. And this is cut 8.
I'm here today thanks to my mother's grit, but also thanks to a country that had faith in us, that invested in her humanity and in our dreams. I'm here today because of social programs because of budgetary choices, because of a government that saw my mother's dignity and gave her a chance. Now it is my profound honor to help shape those budgets and programs to keep lifting Americans up, to pull families back from the brink, to give everybody the fair chance my mom got, and that every single person deserves.
That's a good speech, and it's a selling speech. And who doesn't want her mom to get a fair chance, and who isn't proud of a government that lifted her up and, let this woman get to high office and all this stuff? But the problem is, see, here's the problem with this, with the logic of this, and this is what I mean about talking about harsh truths. We don't know how to help people who don't want to be helped. We know how to help people who do want to be helped. This is the thing. This is why charter schools are so important. When people fight to get their kids into charter schools, what the teachers unions say is they say, well, you're taking away the best students. Yes, because we know how to help the students who want to be helped. What we don't know how to do is help the kids who don't want to be helped. And that's a real problem. And we don't know how to help people who don't want to be helped. And so the dole, these social programs, actually throw money into the maw a vast number of people who are then turned into dependents, who then don't do anything, who don't contribute to society. But now and again, the person who wants to be helped, the person who's going to use that money because they've fallen on hard times, is going to use that money to bring her kids out of that poverty. That person will be helped. And that's a problem. That's a problem with shaping policy. That's why policy should be shaped on a small level, at local levels, and not on federal levels, because we do not know how to help people in dysfunctional situations in dysfunctional neighborhoods. This is what we're going to be sold. We're going to be sold diversity, which is not diversity. Diversity is really just a screen, a mask for big government. It always is, it always was. And what they do is then when you attack the big government, they say that you're attacking diversity, that you're attacking her because she's a woman, you're attacking her because she's brown. And the people who get shafted again and again and again are black people. And the reason black people get shafted is because nobody wants to say, oh, the dysfunction is in the community. They don't get married. They're not getting educated. Nobody wants to say that. So instead they pour money in to give a person a chance. And that one person who wants that chance will get it, but the rest of the community is simply being encouraged in that dysfunction and funded in that dysfunction. And when you tell that harsh truth, you get pilloried. We got to learn how to tell these harsh truths, but we got to learn to tell them so that people can accept them. That's the way it is. That's the way it is. That's what politics is. Politics is reality. It's what can be done. Thank you for tuning into the Daily Wire, one of the fastest growing conservative media outlets in the country. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like and subscribe to our YouTube channel so you don't miss out on any of our content.